Oh my goodness. I've been looking forward to this episode for so long. I'm so glad you're here. I've got two great friends of mine on the show with me, and we are covering a great, interesting subject. And I just realized I left my notes over there. So hang on. Let me do this for you.
We're not breaking copyright, so no, we're not on that jive. That's why this little show is free and never monetized. Fair use, fair use. We're just giving reviews and it's all covered by fair use. We ain't here to copy, we're here to react. If we were stealing your stuff, you're right, we should get smacked. We said
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Retro Rangers! Here we go. I don't know. I got to figure out another way of calling the Retro Rangers. I can't say Retro Rangers Assemble. That's ripping off the Avengers. I don't want to do that. But and you know who can help me with this? The genius who helps me make this show, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host and the man who makes things so beautiful here on Retro Rangers. It's Mr. Joe Townsell. Mr. Townsell, welcome as always.
Thank you for having me once again, John. So great to do the show with you. And I can only say this. Retro Rangers React.
That's good. That is good. See, it's amazing how much he contributes to this show. I mean, really. I mean, I make it sound like, oh, it's my show. It's not. It's our show. I wanted to do some fun, interactive reaction and review show, and it was Joe who came up with the name Retro Rangers, and now we've got this great brand. And anyway, Pat. Who's that wrestler? Oh my gosh, you know who would know? Our guest would know. So let's bring our guest on. She is known as Amoral Crackpot on the I see her on Instagram. I see her even on X occasionally, unless I'm wrong. You tell me. Let's bring her on. It's Stevie Arviso. Stevie, do I see you on X?
I'm technically on there,
but not actively.
Oh no, of course not. I don't want to feed that beast. No, I only feed the Google beast, the Meta beast, the Blue Sky beast.
Oh, you're on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Joe!
I followed someone's kind instructions, and it's doing well.
Oh, good. You are so perfect for Blue Sky. There are so many great artists on there, and they support each other. And look, we do our best to get noticed. We do our best, but most of the time we're creating art, and if we have a handful of friends we can share it with, it's the best. We love that. So
well, I'll definitely look for Stevie on Blue Sky. I think within the last week or so, I found her on Instagram, and I followed, and I've just been loving all the posts ever since.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And for the Russians out there, I'm also on Tumblr.
I still say Tumblr is a great platform. I still believe it.
It's a weird platform, but it's still alive. I don't know how. It's way more alive than Instagram.
And that's wild because Joe and I dabble just a little bit in Instagram. I think maybe Joe, you're a little more on there than I am, but
I use it only when as you know, I do like post links on my social media choices after the shows.
Yeah, that's right.
And I use Instagram for that, which is kind of probably not the most effective way because you can't put a link in an Instagram post.
Right.
So I put the URL in there and I say, copy and paste.
Stevie's wife is with us. Adina is here. Right. Instagram is sad. Instagram is very sad. Though I will say, as I've been working on this play and I've been sitting around with my other my other cast members, I look over their shoulders because I'm a nosy face, and I see them just ripping through Instagram, absolutely doom scrolling. It does have a certain sadness to it.
If I didn't already have depression, it would give it to me.
Maybe. Do you think what a terrible joke. Do you think Instagram got depression from you, Stevie?
Quite possibly.
What a stupid joke.
It's fairly infectious.
Adita says the cats. It's a good reason to be on Instagram. I love looking at some cats. Dog now and again. Okay, we have a very, it's not even that it's a special episode. This is just one of our episodes. This is just what we do. But Joe and I have been thinking about different influence peddling, speaking of which, celebrities throughout the air. Oh, I see. Adita said, when I said the cats, I meant John's co-workers.
Meow.
Co-workers. It's true.
I'm sure we'll work in a cat story soon.
I actually have one or two.
Yeah, Joe's got some backup. Yeah, we snort laughing in the first 10 minutes. That's amazing. Okay, we are going to learn a little about the great Boris Karloff.
All right.
Set this up. Now, as is always a danger here, people do like that element of danger. We could get thrown off because we watch videos here on Retro Rangers. We react to them, we review them, give our opinions, our feelings about it. And it's just so much fun and commentary all through. So anybody watching, this is what the live experience is. You can join us in the comments, and we crack wise. We are little wise crackers. Little Weisenheimers is what we are. The first thing I want to show everyone is my favorite classic of, and I've got a story right after. My favorite classic of Boris Karloff's, and that would be the trailer from his film The Mummy.
Ooh.
So here we go.
I always liked that Karloff had a bunch of gimmick changes.
Right?
Ranger the Dracula.
When I was a little kid, I had a babysitter who let me stay up and watch. It wasn't Svengoolie, but it was like
eternal punishment for
and
anyone who
the
opens
movie was The Mummy.
casket.
And so, of all the monster movies, especially the Universal monster movies, my first one was The Mummy. And one thing I didn't understand is that something shot specifically for black and white, especially in this era of the 30s, is so beautiful.
Crawling, stands your hair on end and brings a scream to your lips.
Oh,
That's quite a scream.
There's nothing
it was.
like The Mummy.
You will not remember what I
And he
tell
very
you now.
expertly waited for his cue to scream as well.
Memories of love and crime. And
This is also one of those great
how I know
tropes,
this horrible plan.
which is, I was in love with someone thousands of years ago, and you, beautiful actress in this movie, you look just like her. So there's a romance element.
I
Ooh.
want that should be like the new love, laugh, live, laugh, love. Love, live, kill.
Love, live, kill. Now you know what you can get Stevie for Christmas.
Not necessarily in that order, by the way.
Here's the thing. Why did I not show Frankenstein? Because, and this is very, I guess, understandable, especially in terms of this show. There is a clip that they will not allow because Universal says we own that clip. And I thought, oh, well, that must mean the whole trailer. It doesn't. It means the moment where Dr. Frankenstein says, "He's alive! Alive!" They own that. And if you play that, they come kick your butt. And I learned that last night.
Oh my goodness.
It's 90
So
years
I guess the
old.
makers of Weird Science must have bought it outright, huh?
Either that or they're the ones who ruined it for everybody else. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, it's 90 years old. Thank you, Stevie. Yeah. Oh my God, it's 90 years old. But I guess it is trademarked, or I mean, copyright is the phrase they use.
Yeah.
But it's I get it. It's the thing that it's like a trigger that you hear. And you're not going to think of anything other than Universal. And so they do own that.
I mean,
cut them that.
I guess it just kind of shows you that Universal's not in a great place if it's relying on a 90-year-old audio clip to really stick it to YouTubers and anyone else.
Do you know, Stevie, because I know you like to follow horror and you're a big movie fan, and you've written several screenplays yourself. And do you know if that attempt that Universal was going to try to do of creating their Universal universe of all their monsters, have they abandoned that after the Tom Cruise version of The Mummy died so sadly at the box office?
Yeah, it was right after. That was the second time they abandoned it. Remember, they tried it before with Dracula Untold.
Oh.
Nobody remembers that movie but me. But it was...
How was that?
It was it was very much a comic book Dracula film.
Oh, interesting.
I would say it had to come out a few years earlier, maybe instead of Van Helsing.
Right.
Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing.
Yes.
I think it probably would have done a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have. I mean, that's the thing. Van Helsing, I remember that having a lot of commercial tie-ins and being like really being shoved in everybody's face. Oh, this is going to be a blockbuster. And I didn't hate it, but it wasn't that great.
It was kind of like the Batman v Superman of horror film, like monster horror films. Just too much all at once, trying to play catch up on something they didn't even get the first step right. I liked it. It had a bunch of really cool bits in it, but your first movie for the Universal Monsters was The Mummy. For mine, it was actually, I think it was like Frankenstein versus the Wolfman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Abbott and Costello first. That's how I got introduced into it.
Those are good looking movies too. I was considering
movies.
I was considering including them because I really do love that combination of like horror and comedy. And it's so rarely done well.
I can rewatch Young Frankenstein more than I can the original Frankenstein. So.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. As a matter of fact, I feel like I've seen the original Frankenstein twice, and Young Frankenstein for me is one of those movies that if it's on, out of respect, I'll sit down and watch it.
But no words.
He was my boyfriend. There's of course the musical of Young Frankenstein, and I
still haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't. There on YouTube, there was a version done by the high school of like, was it Malibu? Or Beverly Hills? I mean, it was like one of the richest high schools in the world did it. Their sets are insanely good.
A high school?
It's a high school. And you're not supposed to do that. Like, you'll get in big trouble if you record a musical or any play and you put it up. You're not allowed to do that. When you license a play, they don't give you the ability to do that. And of course, well, we're Beverly Hills. Who's going to stop us? So I saw pieces of it by watching these high school kids doing it. Adina says, when my sister was 3 years old, her favorite movie was Young Frankenstein. Yeah, I totally get that. Because it's beautiful. Mel Brooks did exactly what everyone tried to do at the time, maximize what black and white film looks like. And the music was great, and
the cast was just perfect.
The cast was one of the best. All right, let's see what
Can't
else.
say that about the original Frankenstein. Maybe that's why Universal is so dependent on that one clip.
Apparently.
They got
Well,
the one gimmick, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And it's iconic. By the way, I will always use the word iconic. I know people hate that word now. I'm sorry. It still works.
Works for
Still
me.
means something.
I wasn't aware
Okay.
it fallen out of favor.
Oh, I think it's more of a cliche to say it's more people will complain that using the word iconic is cliched. I think it's more cliched to say, a lot of people throw around the word iconic. Well, sometimes things are just iconic. That's why. Okay, this I dared to do. And I'm hoping you'll all get a kick out of this, including Adina. And this is the makeup test.
Oh.
Makeup artist Jack Pierce, of course, designed the classic Universal. And they
That's Herman
immediately
Munster.
they immediately trademarked this, which was so interesting.
Wow.
That they would do that in the 30s.
It wasn't quite there yet, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't quite look like how it would look. But the basics are really there. Those eyelids, that must have been hard to work with.
Can you imagine being in the chair for that?
Oh, hours. And I can't remember who this is. I'd like to think it's a first assistant director because they usually risk their lives. Unless that's Jack. No, I don't think that's Jack Pierce. Anyway. Well, that, of course, is Boris Karloff. Oh.
I preferred him when he played Isaac Yankem. That was my favorite Boris Karloff gimmick.
Isaac Yankem.
Yeah. He didn't really get over until he became Kane, but
I think you're mixing
better
up
than
the two
Vin
worlds there,
Diesel.
Steve. All
I'm
right.
pretty sure they're the same person.
This
People
is
keep saying it's some weird politician in the Midwest, but I'm fairly certain it's Boris Karloff.
Oh my God, Glenn Jacobs is of whom Stevie speaks, and he played Kane in the WWE, WWF, and he's a small town politician now. All right, let's take a look at this. This is from the old Dark House, and I'm actually going to turn the sound up for this one. And I don't know much of anything about this film.
I miss that logo so much. That was a beautiful logo.
Yeah, that is.
Any idea where we are? Let's look at a map or something.
Let's look at a map or something.
Why is it only raining on top of the car?
Pull in there.
Hose them down. They don't look miserable enough.
Loud enough to wake the dead.
Oh man, I hope they don't find the human
right.
centipede there.
Let them in.
I'm sorry to barge in on you like this, but needs must when the devil drives. You will have to stay here. The misfortune is
They
yours.
dress for dinner in this place, don't they?
We're dressing for dinner.
He's alive, I tell you.
You're afraid, aren't you?
You don't seem to understand.
And
we may be cut
that was
off.
the actor who played Dr. French. I should know more. I should have done some research. I was busy. That's Ralph Bellamy, I think.
That's a really bright candle.
Listen, there's a
That's
man
Gloria
must-
Stewart there who would want to be in Titanic, of
Got
course.
to do something.
Oh, is that the same actress?
I believe
That
so.
was that looked like Jerry Stewart, the lesser brother of Jimmy Stewart.
Gosh darn Jerry.
God, now all I can picture is Peter Ball and Cloris Leachman. I don't know why. Interesting.
Perhaps.
All right, we're ready to go into a little long form here. So this is an episode of The Veil. I do want to give a little background on Boris Karloff. I was doing this in the dressing room, waiting to make my entrance. Boris Karloff was sometimes credited as Karloff in all caps. That happens sometimes. And sometimes he's credited as Karloff the Uncanny.
I told you he was a pro wrestler.
He's got a lot of pro wrestling.
Movies didn't pay a lot back then. Horror movies, just nothing.
He was born in 1887.
My goodness.
So that was a long life he lived. He lived until 1969. Nice. You have to. It's the law. The name he was born under was William Henry Pratt. Of course, Pratt in English parlance is not a compliment. You bloody Pratt. He came from a family that the family business was being members of the British Foreign Service. He was the youngest of 9 children, and he was considered the black sheep. I guess makes sense. He moved to Canada after dropping out of college, figuring he's never gonna become a member of the State Department in England. He was a manual laborer as a young man. He did a lot of laying train tracks and digging ditches and shoveling coal for the British Columbia Electric Railway Company. It gave him an extremely bad back, and he had a lot of injuries throughout his lifetime. So much so that he did not get called to serve in World War I.
Lucky guy.
And he became one of those men who became an actor during the war. So
as you do.
As one does. He eventually emigrated to the United States, of course, where he worked from 1920 to 1931, doing mostly bit parts, small parts, medium-sized roles, not starring in anything, and being in all kinds of movies. He was in scary stuff. He was in action Saturday morning serials. He was in dramas. If you needed a foreigner, you would probably hire Karloff. He played nearly every nationality you can imagine.
You mean Pratt, Mr. Pratt.
Mr. Pratt. He had when he got into theater in so I think it's like 1911. I wrote it down somewhere. That's when he changed his name to Boris Karloff. And there's long been an argument about why he changed his name, because he gives a lot of different reasons depending on when he's being interviewed.
Oh, this sounds familiar. He owes money to someone.
And a young
I've never heard of Mr. Pratt. No, I'm Mr. Karloff.
And a lot of those guys did go to Canada. Like, that's not unusual for that to happen. He finally, after making 81 films, he was discovered by director James Whale.
Well, a young up-and-coming talent like that, it just takes a little bit of work and elbow grease, and eventually you get your big break.
Your overnight success. So he, of course, was chosen to play Frankenstein, Frankenstein being very popular as a book. And people, having a lot of, well, I really want to see that as a movie. So it was kind of, a big deal for him that he was the guy to play the monster. At the same time, he did the film Scarface, where he played a supporting role as a mob boss for director Howard Hawks. So in 1 year, having releases from both Howard Hawks and James Whale, that's a pretty big deal. He had a good 1931.
The rest of the world can't say the same, but...
Exactly. And then, of course, Universal, and I love this in his biography, Universal saw how much money they were making with Boris Karloff, and they went, well, that's it. He's a star. And they started putting him in a lot of films, and he became a mainstay. Of course, this is TV that we're about to watch. This is a TV series called The Veil. Very interesting.
At this point, this would have been a massive step down career-wise, wouldn't it? TV was, if you were a big film star going to TV afterwards, you were on the bad side of things, wasn't it?
You're not wrong at all. The idea in the 50s was the TV was the cheap ripoff. It was the, oh God, what would you even call it now? It was the Tubi
Well, I mean, and the poor man's form of entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
Because movies had some, going to the movies had some form of elegance still, even at
Right.
this late stage. And
Yeah, because wasn't radio still like a bigger, like it was a sidestep, more of a sidestep than a step down or a step back for your career?
That is true. What we consider television or streaming now, it's like, oh, Glenn Close has another TV show. That's not unusual. Nobody's
Yeah.
surprised by that. And in those days, that was radio still. Although 1958 was about when everything shifted and TV became more popular culture than any other medium. It was right around the late 50s. There were still very good things being made. But at this point, Karloff had actually made a lot of money playing Karloff. So there was a very famous play called Arsenic and Old Lace.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
familiar.
the good brother and then the crazy brothers. If you remember the film that Cary Grant was in, he's playing the good brother. He's the good one. But his brothers are insane and very dangerous. And one of them thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt, and he's named Teddy. And the eldest brother is very scary. Everyone is afraid of him, and he does murder people. And one of the reasons given why he murders people is if you say that he looks like Boris Karloff. And on Broadway, he was played by Boris Karloff, which is fantastic. And Boris Karloff, very much an actor, started in theater, loved theater. He played this role for like 10 years, which I love because it was like, well, it makes fun of me, but it's nice to have a theater to go to.
That's a professional.
So at this point, Karloff is, oh my God, so 58, and he was born in 1887. So I'm terrible at math, 60-ish? Is it 59? Anyway, not a young man at this point.
I write, I don't math.
Jesus, I love when John reads Wikipedia to me. Hey, I'm giving you a summation of Wikipedia.
Fair use.
There's a little bit of creativity there, Adina. Come on.
It does make for a good album. That should be like a separate podcast right there. It's just John reading Wikipedia to the sounds of the whales.
You tell me what you want to know, and I'll read it to you from Wikipedia.
And John, one thing we should be pulling out my calculator. Yes. At this point, Mr. Karloff was 71 years old.
71 years old. Wow. He aged a lot from when I did the math.
You were being kind, as you always are.
I just like how Joe has a calculator nearby. He wasn't using his phone.
Okay.
Steve, you got to have the tools handy sometimes.
Yeah. But do you have the kind that has the receipt roll in it?
No. We're talking iPhone, baby.
That's where all the fun is.
Yeah. Now we have this show, The Veil. It never made it to air. There were 13 episodes of it. Okay, I'm remembering Wikipedia now. I did not write this down.
Wait, they made they shot and produced 13 episodes.
Yes,
but didn't air a single one.
It didn't.
That's correct. Isn't that something? That would never happen, even within the last 25 years or longer.
Who are they? Warner Brothers?
Seriously. I believe what happened was there was a deal in place and they got all the money and they made it, and it looks pretty good. And then the deal fell through. And back in those days, if you were not based in the United States, which I don't think this company was, you would just disappear. And then whoever owned it died. If I'm remembering correctly, it just got lost and ended up in somebody's trunk or some vault somewhere, and then eventually was rescued, put on DVD, uploaded to YouTube, and now we're able to show it live. And amazingly, no one cares.
So Boris
one
Karloff
detail
just
to
rose
add,
from the
which
dead.
distinguishes this from many of the anthology series of the era, was that Boris Karloff was the host, as we'll see, but he almost always had either a lead role in the episodes.
Yes.
Oh, so he was the Robert Englund of his time.
Yes. Yes. Wow, that's a good comparison. Honestly, I think Robert Englund would be thrilled with that as well. And what actually, this is a very special episode in that Boris does not appear as an actor in this story. But we're going to watch another episode of another series that Boris did for NBC, and he did it a few years later. And he's a big part of that episode. So we'll be watching Thriller a little bit after we see this one.
Love that music video.
This is
not Michael Jackson's. Although Vincent Price was in that one, voiceover at least.
That's true. All right, so let's take a look at it. This was actually shot as a standalone for another anthology series in England. This is an English episode we're about to watch. It was not originally part of The Veil, but the producers of The Veil saw that no one was buying it, so they bought it. And it's really good. I actually enjoy the heck out of this. So let's take a look.
This was a double canceled episode then?
Like the most orphaned TV series you've ever seen. That is what The Veil actually is. And all the episodes are on YouTube. I've seen a couple of them. I think, Joe, you've watched more of them than I have.
I did watch a few because we talked, and you asked me if I could pick out the one we'd see tonight. The con of this one is that we don't see a lot of Boris Karloff. We see, but what we do see is great stuff.
Yeah.
And a really fascinating series episode, to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's take a look at it. They eventually named it episode 10, even though it never aired. And this is Jack the Ripper, hosted by the great Boris Karloff from his series, which only exists in the ether, The Veil.
You can see him waiting for us back there, sitting in his chair by the huge bonfire.
I'll just sit here and pretend to read a book.
So since we're reviewing this, or is this episode going to be revealed to be titled Beyond the Veil?
No, but that it should have been.
Tonight I'm going to tell you another strange and unusual story of the unexplainable from behind the veil.
I'm not sure about this.
Ever since man was first able to...
What's that, Joe?
It kind of looks like he's on fire.
Those he's been unable to explain.
Those lights were really hot back
But
then.
even today, the knowledge of our universe, which we have amassed,
As I slowly get those bags under my eyes, I at least can say I've lived a good life.
The world beyond our understanding.
He got tired of standing in front of that fire, so they moved him into a chair.
Yes.
Our story tonight
That looks like a really
concerns the dark
hot
and
suit
violent
to wear.
circumstances surrounding one of the most
That 1958 suit is going to be what, pure wool?
Oh, pure wool. But no, he was an older gentleman at this point. Maybe he was something that came in handy for him.
Oh, that's true. The older guys do get cold quite easily.
Well, I know I do from time to time.
I knew it. Tucked away down at the bottom of the page. Mr. Walter
I want everyone to kind of give some special attention to the wife. I think she's kind of unique for the time, especially.
So the
Yeah.
is practically invisible.
Well, it's English. Remember, this is English.
Should let me deal with that
And
side of the business.
I think of it too as like, oh, she's quite lovely, is she?
Not black horses again. I couldn't stand another funeral.
It was most
She's a little insufferable at first, but she is definitely much more than the typical damsel in distress.
Yes.
Judith,
You can tell she's British because she hides her neck.
I am sorry. I didn't realize you were so upset.
last night.
Very posh.
I don't want to be an ableist, but I'm not sure which eye to look into when I'm looking at
Some
her.
people are left-handed.
I'm the same way with my dog.
Perfect.
Time after time, the
You just have to pick one.
Just pick one and commit.
Judith, last night
I'm kind of doing the same thing with his eyebrows at the moment.
Okay, I just want to say something. Adina, you have to pay extra to see her neck. Give her a couple of brandies.
And I'm not sure that you'll be very good at it.
Might get some nape.
I was so frightened.
Okay. I'm going to say it, and it's going to ruin it for everybody. This guy, British Paul Sorvino.
Just after I went to sleep, a most odd feeling. As though something were trying to get inside my head. Something pushing.
Love that push.
Breaking the fourth wall here is effective.
An odd sound like nothing I'd ever heard before.
I like that pushing right there. That was. I'm trying to think. You didn't see that a lot in shows like even Twilight Zone didn't really do a lot of tricks like that.
It's a big move. It's a bold move for those days, especially for TV. And I'm not even being funny. They had to use like 3 or 4 people to move a camera.
I couldn't stand to see what was happening.
Well, another reason we decided on this episode is it does have a cinematic feel, especially for
It
late 50s.
does.
Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous.
The lighting,
Suddenly I found myself outside some horrible drinking house.
Horrible drinking.
I'm not horrible
drinking house.
Important to see the time.
Step by step.
My
The clock.
Make
Make note of the time.
And the light at the corner
Make
of the
note of the
lane
street
seemed to
name.
draw me to it.
No bucks
I
given
felt
here.
as if something was guiding me. begging
0
me
bucks.
to look up at the street sign.
Bucks Row stops here.
Bucks Row.
I do like the hand acting too.
And yet,
Yes.
I'd never even heard of the place before.
It's very theatrical.
Right now, his wife's thinking, who the hell are you talking to?
Did you
Look at me
look
when I
into the
do that.
camera?
Probably just an ordinary
Don't look
night
into the
out.
camera. Be like my eyes. One
No,
is
no,
never
there was
looking into the
such
camera.
purpose to it, almost as though I'd been made to see it.
Camera 1, camera
In the
2.
early hours of this morning, Timothy
Yes,
Dunn,
they
truck
are.
driver, was returning to his lodgings in
These
Whitechapel.
pages
Now,
are
this
blank.
fooled me the first time I saw it. I thought she was just
Fallen
kind of blowing him off at this point.
Yeah.
Word for close
Going back to the
surveillance
paper, but
discovered that his
it's actually
own
relevant.
Oh my God, those pages are
much
blank.
revealed that his
They are.
person
You're just making it up.
identified Mary Nichols, 42, a woman
It's
of
a British
unfortunate
newspaper. I'm sure this is how it is.
was last been seen alive at
Advertisements are
just
so
before
disgusting.
2:30. The
Very.
surgeon has stated that in addition to the throat
Oh
wounds
God,
which
there's
caused
another
death,
thing I noticed.
the body had been
Her
almost
upper lip does not
See where
move.
it happened.
Yes.
She's a lovely woman.
The
Well,
body
she's
was
got a
found
stiff
in
upper
Box Row.
lip.
She literally.
Very good,
He
Steve.
also stated that in his opinion, the crime had been committed by somebody with considerable knowledge.
Pretty sure the British colored boss-eyed.
Sergeant's nice.
She's boss-eyed.
Moreover, it was the same person who brutally murdered Martha Turner 3 weeks ago on the night of August the 7th. An inquest is being held.
All the details.
But what intrigued me about the character was that she's pretty much the driver of the episode's events.
There can't be any motive
Yes,
for
yes.
killing these terrible
It's funny. It
women.
does seem like this is a henpecked
Don't you see, there
husband
may
kind
be
of a
more.
situation,
More
but
dreams.
Walter, think what it would mean if you could go to the police and tell them exactly when and where the next killer would be.
when and
I
where?
won't have any part of it. It's nothing to do with me.
Walter, that is a disgraceful attitude.
Now, of course, it is the
That is
50s. It is
disgraceful.
a little exposition heavy.
It's the
Oh,
responsibility
yes.
of every member of the
Well, it's a
community.
half-hour show
Why,
too.
it might mean
So they've got a
involving
lot
couple
of ground to
young
cover.
Oh, they were hardly young.
Walter, it is your duty to go to the police.
Get on with it.
I suppose you're right,
Very well,
as usual.
as usual.
Darling, think of the publicity.
And that is their relationship. He is a professional clairvoyant, you see.
Yes, sir. Oh, good morning. I want to see something about the Whitechapel murder.
What connection?
Reward 100 pounds.
I'd prefer to see whoever's in charge of this.
All right. Your name, sir?
A little bit of a David
Yeah, boy.
Augensteyer's vibe here. I agree with Adina.
Yeah.
You haven't been
Forgot
in
his
before?
name.
No.
Well, Inspector McWilliams in charge of the case. I'll tell him you're here. Let's see if you don't mind waiting a while.
Wah, wah.
I mean, all those people have
A lot of money, sir. Brought them all out today.
What's this
There's,
guy?
there's one mouthful of teeth between the whole lot of them.
Like the front row of a wrestling show. What has an IQ of 104 teeth? The front row at a
I
wrestling
assure you,
show.
I didn't come here because of any reward.
Last night in a dream, I saw the exact circumstances of the Bucks Row murder.
I love
Several hours before it occurred.
all
The
the
time,
acting that the
place,
cop's doing right now.
Now, sir, you look a nice, sensible sort of gentleman.
He's really just playing off the guy's breath. He drank a lot before this.
Good Lord. Like having a cask of rum. Give you a raspberry.
Now take a seat, sir. Wait a while, and we'll declare you a suspect soon enough.
I'm sure you will have no more trouble with me either.
Oh, don't give it away, Joe.
Oh, oops.
Eddie, don't lag behind. I wish to see someone about
Speaking of stage mothers.
My little girl has some information I know will prove invaluable.
That little girl is actually 35 years old and suffers from rickets.
Emily was in rapport with Liati.
She's got a cigarette waiting for her backstage.
Oh, then she was just a child actress.
A ghastly grinning face appeared.
Charlatan! Charlatan!
Charlatan!
Now he's got some backbone.
I really miss the theatrics of classic horror.
Silent
Oh,
and deserted
yes.
with the setting of the sun. Children are off the streets with the beginning of nightfall. Women go nowhere unless accompanied by their men.
I feel
Doors
judged
are
by
locked,
Boris right
windows
now.
boarded up. London becomes a city of panicking individuals.
Like he knows
man
what I've done
trusts
for a
his neighbor
living,
or
and he's
friend.
just like,
You
this is your
still
life.
demanding their
Shame on
bodies.
you, Stevie.
The apprehension
Shame,
is there.
shame.
Boris is
The
watching us
rewards
today.
mount. Every available police officer.
You never saw
is
this. You never saw Rod
Groups of
Serling
men,
appear in the middle of the
self-appointed
episode and
vigilante
offer more
committees,
exposition.
hunt through dark streets.
This is a particularly well-written segment, I think.
Yes,
No avail.
I agree.
The man they seek might well have been a ghost.
Right there, like a classic comic book. It's a very comic, like horror comic book.
Chris Regan is very worried about Karloff being too close to that giant fire.
It's probably pretty brutal and flammable.
Those kippers didn't go down right.
I thought this guy was going to rip his eyes out for a second there.
More hand acting. That's one of the cheapest special effects. Can you just pull your cheeks down so your eyes bug out? Saving a lot of money.
Judith! Judith!
Judith, very important to the scene. I did a costume change just for this.
Look at my hand. Look. It happened again. Quite
Oh, she's
suddenly.
feeling feisty. Her neck's showing
All the
now.
body. It's got an arrow.
Showing a little neck cleavage
Right,
early.
I picked it up and see the blood still on my hand. No, I won't wipe it off. They can see it at Scotland
I
Yard.
like it just the way it is.
They'll have to believe
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Walter, it's your blood. You
This
must
actor was
not
also a
believe.
physician. I didn't know that.
No,
He's a very good actor.
I saw it.
Terrible physician, though.
The red scar in my
The
breast.
reviews.
Yeah, that happens sometimes when you multitask too much.
She was still clutching the bunch of grapes.
He was his generation's Ken
You
Jeong.
must eat something before you go.
What? Who? Who?
No,
Hey, wait a
not
minute.
at least. They'd only laugh at me again.
Then we'll have our
I don't
dinner and
like
you
it
can
when
walk
they
the
laugh
dog
at me.
if you want to. I'm coming with you this
The
time.
children, they tease me. They make fun of
Your
my
little
hair.
Dave
They
for
say, what
nitrogen
hair?
First, please, thank you. 2 minutes.
Now they're on the bus.
First, please.
I think
Wow, now it's become a completely different movie.
change at Oxford Circus and take.
Walter.
He's here. I can feel it. Somewhere quite near.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I'm having a vision. That's why I'm speaking so much
Here on
furious.
this bus.
That's so funny.
Jack the Ripper.
Ah.
He's here on this bus.
My doctor senses are tingling.
I don't know. I can feel the vibrations. It's the same
That's just the
man
train,
coming
Doc.
Pigeons fall.
Walter, are you certain?
Get into the moving van, everyone. We're taking you down the street.
Taken away.
Oh, excuse me, I'm getting away from this crack on. Oh, excuse me, Steve. I didn't mean to use that word.
Oh,
Judith, it's madness. It's too dangerous.
well, an amoral crackpot is an excellent crackpot.
This is true.
Crikey.
That's one of my leftover.
No, I
I
can't
write
do that.
wise ass comments for when I do the crash
No
test.
use, he's gone.
Oh.
So I basically do pop-up
I'm
videos
sorry, I
when I
couldn't help
test
it.
these.
I love
Oh,
it.
we need more of that, John.
Want to go and tell the police.
Tell them what?
Why, the Jack
Wait.
the Ripper's in the park. They might close the gates.
Walter,
That, of
sometimes
course.
I despair of
Because
you.
the
Come on,
gates will
we're
stop
going to
Jack the
Scotland
Ripper.
Yard.
Exactly. As we know, Jack the Ripper cannot climb a fence. It's a design flaw.
See you here again, sir.
I want to see Inspector McWilliam, isn't it?
He's busy. We're trying to find someone called Jack the Ripper. Perhaps you've read about it.
A constable.
Walter.
Well, these aren't a whole line of nutcases ahead of them this time.
Today is the 30th September.
It is.
Had to get
Maybe
through all
you
those
remember the day that
nutcases.
Jack the Ripper committed his false
Now that
murder.
cop, how long
You
is his
just stand there
shift?
and do nothing to prevent it.
It seems very
I
long.
had my own.
Well, there's only two of them.
You must let me see the inspector now. This afternoon, I had a vision of a
No
murder
wonder
that I
there are
know
murders
will
in
take place
Limehouse.
tonight.
They actually have to
You
share
must
the
understand,
uniforms,
we
why it
can
doesn't
stop,
fit him
otherwise
very
the blood will be on
well.
my hands.
Walter, what?
I brought my
So a
very
woman will be found
assertive
dead
wife with
tomorrow,
me.
with her ear severed from the head.
What did you say?
What kind of British gentleman is he? He's wearing his
Ear
hat
was lying
indoors.
beside her in the gutter.
Constable. This way, ma'am. I'm
What
Inspector
am I
McWilliam.
looking for?
Hello, I'm the
What's all this about
inspector.
you?
I wear a much nicer suit.
My name is Walter Durst.
Take my head off
I'm a
now.
professional clairvoyant. Perhaps my card will help.
I'm professional clairvoyant.
I need to make up some cards
Maybe you dream.
that's professional clairvoyant.
Well, I imagined I was walking
Joe
along a lane in the
Tunsil.
stand.
Professional
There was a woman.
clairvoyant.
Her throat had been cut.
Inspector Eyebrows of Scotland Yard.
It's not the first time. The night that Mary Nichols was killed, I saw it just as it happened. The time, the place.
When did you send the note? The note you received this morning.
Oh, I haven't sent any note.
I have sent any
I have been here
note.
before. The constable will tell you.
Just because I know where
Yes,
it
sir.
happened, when it happened, and how it happened, doesn't mean I know.
How is that suspicious?
Well, what shall I write?
Just 3 words. Dear old boss.
Yeah.
Rasputin in the background.
I wish you'd explain.
Framed photo of
Did you by any
Rasputin.
chance dream the location of this murder?
No, not this time, but I'm sure
Certainly
I
not this time.
And Tina says people lose their hats a lot in the past, like just tossing them anywhere. That damn Mr. Chips. He made them all toss their hats.
Then you must
Well,
believe
they had vending machines every
I saw
corner.
it.
Like haberdasher.
No one knew of this letter except the men in my office. and
Just
the
put
man
in
who
tuppence
wrote
and
the
get a hat.
Did you write this letter?
No.
I didn't write it.
I didn't write this
Judith!
letter.
Judith!
You did write
The
this
captain's
letter. I
custody, and we
didn't
can
write
make
the
further
letter.
investigations in the morning.
Please let me go. Don't you see what you're doing?
Listen up. Come on.
But the woman, I saw what he did to her. You couldn't tell it was a human face. You could
saw it.
save her.
Perhaps I have.
I didn't do it, but I know all
Please let
about
me
it.
help you.
Oh,
I Constable.
listen to him.
Well then, God help you.
Oh, he's resigned himself. Okay, I don't know any other way to make this
What time
joke
is it?
work, so I'm
Are you
writing
still
it.
awake? The time, please. Take my watch away.
Oh, I don't know.
I need a new chamber pot.
You better get some shut-eye.
Not this night. Tell Inspector McWilliam to have a good night's rest. Tomorrow he may
I
not.
confused
feel
my
quite
soup
so
with the
easy.
chamber pot again.
He needs a good night's rest because they all work double and triple shifts apparently.
Oops, no.
I really misread that Bobby's.
Well, guess what? You're free to go.
You want to see what they are? Can you hear me?
What? Huh? Oh. Yes, I hear you. Inspector Cheekbones.
God forgive them.
God, God forgive
I
them.
can't help thinking that Nicholas Meyer lifted this for time after time. When
That's
he did the same
interesting.
to Wells.
That's interesting because Wells is set up as a suspect, isn't he?
Well, Dr. Stephen,
So it happened.
who of course is
In your power
that
to
movie's
take
Jack
the
Ripper,
Two lives.
but the same plot
Two
convention.
women murdered
Totally.
within an hour. One in a yard at the back of Berners Street, the other in an archway off Mitre Square.
That
Yeah,
hand
sit
acting again.
You are right in every detail.
Everyone get behind me. I must do some acting.
The East End last
With
night.
my hands.
Every suspect we had was under lock and key.
I'm nervous. My palms are a little sweaty.
Yet it happened. It's impossible.
Those are impressive eyebrows.
You knew.
Inconceivable, even.
How?
That's a question I've been asking myself all my life, Inspector. Perhaps the answer will come.
It's a weird thing to ask yourself all your life.
He's clairvoyant. Doesn't he know why?
My apologies for that. Inspector, I owe you my supreme gratitude.
For throwing
No
me into the
imprisonment.
jail.
It was a release.
Until last night,
I'm sure you're right.
Afraid of this gift I have.
It's very cold.
Shame because I was not quite normal. My
It
wife
is
had
London,
my
at
courage
night.
and my
He
conviction.
just has very pointy nipples. They have to
Now I know
cover it
this
up.
car was given to me for a purpose. Respect must be paid to it and to me. I wish to heaven I believe you.
That's why she opened up her collar so you could be distracted from that
I
area.
shall act immediately.
Warmed him up a bit.
Water last night?
No, this was
My
the
throat
blood
is up
flowing.
here.
But I can find Jack the Ripper. Probably tonight. This time I shan't even ask how. Every policeman in
I
London is
shan't.
at your disposal, and that won't be necessary. Shall we meet at my house at 7 o'clock? At 7.
He actually just kind of looks like Frasier.
I mean, he's awfully forgiving for having been thrown in the pokey overnight.
Well, it did clear him of being Jack the Ripper.
This is true. Oh, visions.
It's that same
Yep.
cop again, isn't it?
Don't you just hate it when you can't sneeze?
Look into a bright light. Oh, wait, it's London. There are none.
Yeah, I think Stevie was right. There were several actors available, but only one uniform.
More foot acting. Come for the hand acting. Stay for the foot acting.
This is where the Ripper lives.
Oh.
But this is my house.
Oops.
G.R. Wilson, FRCS. Do we not? I don't know. I don't think we can wake him at this late hour. This is where he lives.
I wouldn't want to wake up Jack the Ripper.
It's almost 7 p.m.
I think Stevie made a great call. And it matters of fact that the wife reminds me of Lilith.
Oh, I'm seeing that.
Yes.
That's a policeman for you. You have a warrant to look in my mail slot.
Well, they are British. They if they were American, they just kick it
We are
in.
from Scotland Yard. I'd like to speak to Mr. Willowden.
Give me a smoking gun. I need to put it in this woman's hand.
Mrs. Willowden?
Yes?
I didn't do nothing, you guys.
Mr. Durst, I'm sorry to disturb you so late.
I don't
We
know
should
why
like to
their
ask you a
dog's
few
American.
questions.
Leave me alone, you damn cops.
Mrs. Willowden, this concerns the Whitechapel murders. It would be very easy for me to get a search warrant.
I might get a search warrant. You never know.
The police? Mr. Willowden? No. My name is
Here's
Family.
Larry Tate from
I'm Mr.
Bewitched.
Willowden's
I don't know what
doctor.
he's
May I
doing
ask the reason for this visit? I would like to see Mr. Willowden.
That's impossible.
Will you come into the library, gentlemen?
Do you think they intentionally booked 3 actors who all had the exact same hairline?
Well, they could all share the same hat if necessary.
The funeral is tomorrow.
Those are massive heads. And I say that as someone with a massive head.
Yes, well, you're saying it to your friends who have massive heads as well.
That's right. I'm right there with you.
Hemorrhage late yesterday afternoon. You can understand why Mrs. Willowden is very distressed.
Well, I mean, 3 men just
Just
busted into her home while she was apparently about to walk her dog.
Did you sign the death certificate, Doctor? I did. May I see?
Not only that, there looks to be a casket in the middle of the room.
And she's in full makeup.
Why did you come here?
We have reason to believe that.
Do you think she told them to wait while she got ready before she opened the door?
I'm not at liberty to
Just
say.
give me 15 minutes.
Mrs. Willowden, I'm here to ask questions, not make accusations.
Not your cue. Sit back
Did you
down.
notice anything unusual about your husband's
Not yet,
behavior
not
the last
yet.
few weeks? Mr. Willowden has been I'm talking to Mrs. Willowden.
You know,
Hey, he's done his job.
I did my part.
of course they know. Don't be such a fool. Why else would they have come here? They followed him.
They came
Here
here for
comes
Saw
me.
the blood.
Just reveal.
Blood? Mrs. Willowden is hysterical, you understand? What? Blood.
He was wearing his new coattails, wasn't he?
His new coattails, wasn't he?
Standing on the stairs when he came in. Blood.
Blood.
All over his white
More
waistcoat.
blood.
I beg you.
Doesn't matter.
Her hand acting's terrible, though.
Oh,
I don't
God,
want
mother
to see
blood.
any longer.
Does this
Why didn't you tell
joke
me?
make sense to anyone?
He was my
Afraid not to.
I loved him very much.
Stevie, I feel like you
likeness.
got it.
He was so gentle.
I think I got it.
There's a
Seems
porn
quite a
actress named
long
Juliet
time ago when
Anderson,
he
known
had to
as
give up
Aunt
the cat.
Peg, and I'm watching her, and I'm like, she
Terrible
seems like Aunt
seeing the
Peg.
changes.
Well, no wonder I didn't get it. I never watched that stuff.
I wonder what made him do those things.
Is that back from the VHS days?
One day I heard Peg.
I only rented those
screaming
out. I
around
never
the
actually got to
library.
watch any of them.
Wouldn't be allowed in
Well,
the
I'm happy because now I got some Google material for
house.
later.
He was sitting just over there.
Aunt
wiping his paw.
Peg.
Does Aunt Peg Peg? Is that what we're saying?
I believe once or twice she did.
Oh, good. They cut to a close up.
And there were the bats.
Her hand acting is just
The
atrocious.
other paid boys off the street. Catch bats for him.
Could you guys take 2
They bring him
steps
in a
back,
bag
please?
in the back
Please. I didn't trim my nose
I
hair.
saw once what he did with them. He dipped them in paraffin
Ding.
and lit them.
Oh my safe search is
So
off.
he could see the poor burning things go flapping round his head, and he'd clap his hands and laugh like a child.
It was
She's kind of
crazy. I
describing
say
the porn,
crazy.
it sounds like.
He began to go out.
It's certainly easier to have a bunch of people doing monologues than actually showing a murder. Wait a minute.
now.
Oh,
He's
There's
turned
no
into a bunch
body
of
in here.
books.
tomorrow. Yes, to all intents and purposes.
Jack
The
Ripper was a
victim
book.
has appeared in the Times. And a
Was
few
that ever
relatives
supposed to
identified
have a
his
body
service
inside?
remote.
It's
Where
pretty
is he,
small.
Doctor?
It was a
Budget
small
constraints,
child who
perhaps?
really liked to read.
A certificate of insanity. Yes, Willardon was sent this morning to an insane asylum outside Edinburgh.
Hey, we sent to his name asylum anyway. We're done here.
You will find it registered and in order. You realize what this means?
Yes,
Yeah, there's a commercial.
Yes, once certified and committed to an institution, a person is beyond the jurisdiction of the courts.
You
Not
can't
even the
arrest
law
him
can touch
now.
Willardon, no.
Well, there's nothing more we can do.
Oh, well, he's a
We
madman.
should never know.
No, I haven't read this
Now,
one
if you'll
yet.
excuse us, Inspector, it has been an agonizing ordeal for Mrs. Willardon, and
I
she
didn't
has to
see it
rise
was
early
on.
in the morning for the funeral.
Inspector, is
Yes.
it a terrible thing to hope? There will be more murders in Whitechapel.
Good, she didn't cry on camera.
Yeah, they look away, they look back. She's crying. Wait a minute.
His guilt
He's on
or
fire
innocence
again.
could never be proved.
Tears on demand.
Grandpa,
Great
step
idea.
away from the
The
fireplace.
slaughter in Whitechapel ended.
This is quite dangerous in England. We have
Jack the
baked
Ripper
beans for
never
breakfast,
claimed
you know.
another victim.
It almost looks like it's
A
in
pot
front of him.
water dirt. How does one explain his gift
See that
of
part?
precognition?
Mr.
His
Karloff,
ability to
Mr.
foretell the
Karloff,
future?
you might want to step back.
How could he foresee in
He's fine.
such detail the victims
He was awfully
and the
cold.
circumstances surrounding their deaths? He'd never seen any of the women involved. He'd never even been to the places where they met their death. And most of all, how was he able to lead the police to a man he did not even know existed?
Because he's clairvoyant. We already covered
There
this.
is no explanation.
Why are you
over
asking
why.
the audience? I
But
don't
this
know.
we
You made
do.
it.
On that night, over 70
Karloff's
years
killed.
ago,
Come down and
ended
throw a
reign of
few
terror
pots with Boris
unlike any
himself.
known before or since.
And I
Please join me again
Oh,
for another
forgot
journey
something.
into the world of the unexplainable, which lies behind the veil. Good night.
Oh shit, I'm on fire.
I've got to shoot 8 of these in one day. A
Well,
miserable
David, you did a good job.
Screenplay
You know, this
by
reminds
Michael
me of
Robb.
No
when
one
John
would see
pointed
crazy.
out that this was kind of brought into the fold from another source.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone did it once. Remember an occurrence on Owl Creek Bridge?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, a French
Well, that
film
was
that
an-
they just purchased to round out their episode count, which was a great addition.
Right. This is a Hal Roach series.
Right.
I forgot that part. Hal Roach Studios pretty much lost their shirt right around this time.
Well, Karloff isn't cheap.
Karloff don't come cheap, folks. All right, so we're setting up.
I thought
This
that was
is
a commercial.
actually this is a great little clip. An actual interview with Boris Karloff. You're going to hear Boris Karloff definitely say some things that weren't in Wikipedia. So that's kind of fun. But it's also in support of a great movie that he made in the 60s. So first, let's watch this. And this is English and also Huntley Archives. Yes, it's yours. We understand.
John, we can't see your handsome.
He's behind the veil.
He's behind the veil. Oh, yeah, that's better.
What have I done? Okay, now let me hit play on this. Where are you? There you are.
More sophisticated part of London's money belt lives a Verdilac. It's taken me quite some time to track him down, but finally I've cornered him in a very splendid flat at the top of this house. What is a Verdilac? Well, come with me now.
Crikey!
We'll find out from the Verdilac himself.
Oh, that's what Boris. That's his hosting. Well, I'm going to tell you things they left out of the story.
Mr. Karloff, what exactly is a Verdilac?
A Verdilac, I think, is the Russian word for vampire.
Oh.
And that's what it is.
Is it based in legend or is it
I just
something
made that
real?
up. Don't you think
I
that's
know
funny?
that's what it is.
No, I think
And
it's,
I'm committed.
I think it's actually the legend. I think it's the real word.
In fact, I'm only out on leave right now.
For vampire, and of course it is about a vampire, at least the third story of the series.
Mr. Karloff, you've played many monsters and frightening and terrifying creatures. Do you ever regret having been typecast in this way?
Good heavens, no. I think every actor
It covers up my old days.
we're all typed.
Otherwise, they'd be making fun of my speech impediment.
And if you get typed in a line of country or if you get known for a certain kind of part that is not too restricted, I think you're very lucky. It becomes a trademark.
I love his voice, honestly, though.
And if you achieve a trademark, I think you're very fortunate.
In all seriousness.
Yeah.
Mr. Karloff, how did you start off in the business?
Oh, a pack of lies, of course. I went to Canada when I was a young man. I went down to Seattle. I was in Vancouver. I told a pack of lies to an agent, said I'd had a great deal of experience, and I told him all the parts that I'd played in London, all the things that I could remember having seen. I said I'd been in them. And I had been ill and come to Canada for my health. I was now prepared to re-enter the ranks of my profession.
So that's where I went
He
wrong with
kept
my
a straight
career.
face, and a year later he was stuck.
Bullshit. You just need to just break it all.
That was it.
That was your start in
That was my start.
I lied through my teeth.
How did all that start?
Well, I had about 10 years of small stock and reps sort of wandering around. And
Stock and reps, that's what we used to call them.
wound up in a show of the Virginian in the Middle West.
The Virginian in the Middle West.
Toured out to California, and the thing closed.
Hey, y'all, I'm a cowboy.
And then found myself
Is he
out
referring to the
working
TV
Los
series?
No.
And a
It
friend
was a
of
play,
mine,
though.
the casting
That was a
director
play.
for Douglas Fairbanks.
I didn't know Boris
This was
Karloff acted
the
alongside
other.
Lee Majors and
Doug McClure.
In a film that he was doing, a thing called His Majesty the American, I think. I was a Mexican soldier.
I played a Mexican soldier.
Really made you a star.
Well, I've seen
Viva-
Stranger Things.
Viva la raza.
Now, a lot of authoritative people say that horror films.
This guy looks like he, in his spare time, says terrible things about the Beatles.
Do you agree with?
Well, I don't like the word horror to start with. The word horror really implies revulsion, which isn't the idea of the exercise at all. It's entertainment, it's excitement.
Mr. Karloff, you have something on your face.
A little.
Certainly not
I
horror.
wanna.
I don't know if they're beneficial.
Just wanna.
I don't think they do any harm. I can only speak of my own
You
experience.
can Boris there. Oh, you're
Played
coming
Monster, and I only played him 3 times in the first 3 films. Any letters that I got from youngsters, beyond just asking for a photograph, all express great.
John, about when did this interview occur? Because he's looking quite elderly at this point.
I think I'm going to say 65, but it's
Say I didn't, because they've been very good to me.
So he'd be
it's in support of
77 or so then?
it's in support of Black Sabbath. So whenever he did that,
Okay. That would be a little bit later than what we just saw.
a little bit later.
I didn't know that was his kind of music.
I was waiting for that guy.
Perhaps I can put it in a nutshell.
Me and
I
Ozzy
think
Osbourne.
Fritz asked that question.
They say we look like brothers.
Before he went on the stage, this is. And he thought for a moment, and he said, well, I stand in the wings, I listen for my cue, I check my fly, go on and try not to bump into people.
You hear that coming? You see that coming?
I think it's about my...
And that's him talking crap basically about Marlon Brando.
3 more films
Oh.
lined up.
Talking about how the method doesn't work for him.
Is for American international films, and the next one.
American international films,
You ever
which
think about
I'm slightly
retiring?
ashamed
Oh,
of.
no, what for? Just so long as anybody is foolish enough to employ me, I'm delighted to do it.
Is it just me, or does anyone else just want to tug on those ears? Just
Any regrets?
Oh, go.
No regrets.
Who's a little Karloff? You're a little
Inevitably, Anno Domini, it must be drawing to a close. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoy working. And I think I'm a very fortunate man.
Any ambition?
Oh, that's interesting. Wait a minute.
Yes, one that won't be achieved.
His father did serve in India. That makes sense.
I had 10 years in small stock and weapon estates. I have
Once you learn these things,
in London, and I don't think that can happen now because I've got a bad knee.
don't worry. If he's canceled, he'll show up again in about 50 years on DVD and then upload it to YouTube.
Miss Karloff, we came here today to meet the Verdilac. We met a very charming.
We are going to see a little bit
Very kind of you, thank you.
in the trailer for Black Sabbath.
Oh, good.
All right, so here we go.
Boys, gentlemen.
Come closer, please.
Oh, I don't think I want to.
tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you do? This is Black Sabbath.
I need an adult. I need an adult.
Now, Black Sabbath, I believe, is an Italian film. And take a look at the hair and makeup.
Oh, is this Java?
It's gorgeous.
I love Java films.
And David Bowie's in it. Why, hello.
Oh my goodness. Dang, my arm is standing up. Oh,
There's the Verdilac.
Bless you.
I thought Excalibur was bigger.
Mr. Karloff just showed up to the set dressed in whatever he was wearing. And
I woke up in an alley. I hope this is okay. Huh?
that wasn't scripted. Whoever that was just feeling it that day.
So the 50s were hand and foot acting. Now we got eye acting.
Yes. Well, and it's Italian, so everybody has a ton of eyeliner on.
Including the men.
Horror equals hot Italian women on phones.
We should all be so lucky.
Well, the hot women are
You know
still
what?
on their phones. It's just
I make nightmares about this one tonight.
Yeah, sorry about the nightmare fuel, everybody.
We've all been there. Those long nights.
Okay, I'm not sure which one's coming up next. Hang on.
Boris Karloff,
And now for something completely different.
Okay.
He wasn't really Red or Skeleton.
Red Skelton, of course, famous comedian. He had a TV show. His TV show is famous for having been canceled once they realized that their ratings were pretty good, but all the people watching the show were children.
Oh.
And the writing is, the thing about Red Skelton is he was not a guy who liked to do new comedy. So this is so vaudeville. It's insane. And
I can't wait.
Yeah, and I knew you guys would have fun picking it apart, so that's why I included it. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit so we can hear the announcer again. And there is a Shakespearean quote: "He who steals my purse steals trash." Why is that important, John? Oh, you'll see.
Tonight, Red Skelton as Clemka Diddlehopper, Boris Karloff
He
as
made
Dr.
up that
Nelson
name.
Sr., and Vincent Price as Dr. Nelson Jr. in He Who Steals My Robot Steals Trash.
There.
Oh, I
It's
get
the
it.
worst gag ever. Oh my god.
Wait. So you're telling me this show wasn't for children?
Red didn't think it was.
a man. Now, Bumble. I'll keep him laughing. That's what I'll do.
Clem, how did you manage to get them to be so
Why do these guys look very familiar, John?
Well, Red Skelton's very famous. I'm not sure who the other guy is. He looks like
I'm talking
maybe
about the whole gimmick. This all looks. I'm having flashbacks right now.
Oh, yeah, this is how I dressed when I was a wrestler.
There's one right
There, that's what you wanted, right?
Now it's very familiar. Now I get it.
Now,
He with the daughter of a butterfly, and he with the son of a bee.
The other guy reminds me of Russell Johnson's professor playing a hip.
Clem, get in, Hop. Yeah, did you hurt yourself?
Luckily, I hit myself in the head. No, I didn't get hurt.
Clem, do you want to know why I'm sorry I married your mother? Not me. That's why I'm sorry. Now look, I've got some news for you. Yes, I went right ahead and rented that there barn to a couple of medical scientists.
Medical science?
Yes, they are people who study bodies.
Oh,
I gotta say, only one of them knows what kind of show they're in.
No, they're not peeping Toms, they're scientists.
Scientists. I used to have that in my nose.
No, they're scientists.
oh my God.
No, it's not the same thing. Scientists, it's a father and a son.
Oh, yes?
Now, when you clean up the barn in here, I want you to stay away from their equipment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because if you do anything wrong...
Dear God, I founded SAG for this. Karloff
Right
backstage.
to the fruit. Isn't that nice to see father and son going out these days?
I want you to clean out the barn.
All right.
And don't forget. Before the doctors get here, clean it out. And don't forget. Sweep up the
Howard Hessman Sr.
Oh, I'm tired of having hay for breakfast. I'd like some food if you don't mind.
Clem,
And
you are a moron.
I was never in Salt Lake City in my life.
an applause break for the Mormon joke.
Applause over.
Oh, I
The
thought
clip
you
was
said
really short.
Mormon. I'm sorry.
Get going and sweep.
All right, I'll sweep there. Oh, let's sweep up the barn.
I just feel bad for the people who have to hold those terrible jokes up on cards. Yes. So they can read them.
I went to Vassar for this.
Hey, let's do a bit where I have a rake and you throw me.
They think I'm the idiot. Ramona. Well, what do you know there? Musical bar close name. How about that? Oh boy, look at these things. Oh, I gotta clean up everything around here. Well, we'll clean it up. And we get, hey, that looks
It
good.
makes for a great quartet, Chris.
Oh,
Mario, thanks for joining us. This is Fred Mertz. He's a guy who thought he was funnier than Fred Mertz.
Ain't Fred Mertz didn't have his own show.
Man,
I think we both need to change him out.
his urine sample.
Man's first use of high fructose corn syrup.
This is for all of us who never knew that orange soda had caffeine.
Man, that's beer.
I don't know why he thought adults would watch this.
Oh, there comes in.
I mean, I'm watching it and I'm loving it.
I may get in trouble. I better get out of here. That's what I better do.
Maybe a better way to put it. I don't know why adults would admit to watching this. Oh, there's our man. What the heck is that? Is that Tweaky? Buck Rogers?
Thank you very much, Frankie. That'll be all.
Frankie.
Bye.
This little Frankie's got to go rejoin the teenagers.
Never watch a monster.
Regan says, I've aged 7 years since this sketch started.
Here, coming, father.
Oh, I love this line from Tina. I'm watching 3 adults watch this.
You know, I'm so sorry I'm late, but I was just burying the Duke of Blanchard.
Oh, and what did he die from?
The burying.
Well, now, Dr.
This is comedy, Vincent Price.
Get on with our medical experiment.
Our medical experiment. Our medical
Yeah, forget all that great
experiment. It's your
horror he used
experiment.
to do. I
You
mean,
don't ever let me
Donnie
do
and
anything.
Marie and
I
Laughing.
never
That's
wanted
his
to
Oh
be
my
a
God.
mad doctor.
Captain
He was a
Career.
villain on Brady Bunch, a two-parter.
Yes.
Don't get peevish. You'll get your chance, son, when you're ready. When you
Vincent
create
Price
a
knew what
massive
kind of show he was on.
Yes, he did.
Karloff's being too professional here.
and a bolt in your head.
The thousands of them rocking
Not to
around
mention
these
Egghead on
days.
Batman.
And not only that, they
Yes.
all play the guitar.
Again, why that's still the
But
best
with this
Batman
experiment,
anything.
my boy, we've created a robot that's almost human. And as soon as we've placed the receiver in the cavity, you'll be able to program.
Hold those cards up where I can see them.
You can tell Karloff never did vaudeville.
Robot that the world has ever seen since Phyllis
Oh, they forgot the
Diller.
CGI.
God, it is Phyllis Diller.
It was like one of those CPR dummies.
Yes, seriously.
But wait, you look better with red hair.
But why red hair?
This isn't a Jackie Gleason show, you know.
Woof.
Well, now look. He looks intelligent enough to run for office.
Well, that's hardly a test this year.
I love this from Adina. It's either watch this or like some birds outside, I guess.
Send us
Tough call, huh,
$5
Dina?
million to turn out assembly line robots.
It has Vincent Price. I'm stuck.
Yes. Have you got a dime for the phone?
Oh, I'm sorry, but we can reverse
Now, not
the
to be a
charges.
downer,
Oh, you fool. You
poor
don't know
Boris
what
is well along to having to wear
They'll give
weights
you
to be able to
millions.
stand up properly.
But to
Oh,
collect
wow.
phone calls,
I know he did that during Thriller.
Oh, wow.
You're a local. I'm not a local. You are nothing but a local. I told you to clean up this place. Now, when I was your age, I used to milk the cows and everything. You milk the cows and everything? I bet the chickens and ducks were surprised, boy.
That's a pretty good joke.
Not bad.
Salt Lake City.
Whoa. Big callback. Damn.
Hell, now that he's
They
gone,
make terrible
I gotta
sauce
get this-
there.
Hey, fella, I gotta sleep here.
Big City. Isn't that where the
Hi there,
Conte
fella.
sauce?
Hey, boy, he's dead drunk. Look at him. Hey there.
There couldn't be.
Jackie Gleason.
Oh, my God.
Here, you got to get over here, buddy. I don't care if you are with their experiment.
Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
Out you go. Out you go.
Oh, sound
Go
effects.
there. Now, I got to beat it. Wait by noon.
Oh,
I
no.
have my
This
lunch.
just looks like a
So I
setup.
better set my eyes for 12 o'clock.
Red Skelton. Red Skelton's orchestra had the best slide whistle man in the business.
Washington say if the robot is a success,
It's a lost art.
then they'll give us an order for $1 million to work in Washington.
Look, it moves its eyes.
It's alive.
And it's fed. Yeah. Oh, I've been doing that ever since I was 26.
And it talks.
Well, it took me a little longer for that. look how smoothly he moves. Oh, yes.
Yes, he walks without a jerk.
What's that?
I said you walk without a jerk.
You leave yourself wide open, don't you, buddy?
Oh, man, you're
I dare
irrepressible.
you to throw that my way again.
He moves without a jerk.
Care to join me?
Oh. You know, I'm going to program him. Now, where is his microphone?
Dan Hickey.
Oh, stupid in his nose. All right. Let me see.
Well, that was the
1, 2,
style.
3,
El
1,
Tiburon.
2,
That was the style.
3. Oh, why
It's a
not?
lost art.
Oh, why not?
I'll tell you why not.
It gets gayer?
You know, I thought John's hair and beard combo looked familiar. Now I see it.
Walk over there. Walk over there. Oh, how about that?
Oh, please, let's have the walk this way joke.
If he could walk that way, he wouldn't need the talcum powder.
Turn around. Turn around. Open your mouth. Look intelligent.
The idiot look, too.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Junior, we're on our way to what? All right.
Take him with
Just a minute. Just a cotton-picking minute. Where are you taking him?
But to Washington, he's going to revolutionize the world.
Yeah, we're going to stamp out intelligence. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, hurry up. We got to get to Washington. But they're still handing out money for nothing.
Help, Clem! Clem! They've taken my son, Clem. Clem! Clem is gone. Clem is gone. Mom, we finally got rid of Clem.
Man.
Oh boy.
So whose great idea was that? Oh wait, it was me.
I loved it.
All right,
That's all you want.
So this is we're going right into Thriller. This is an hour long. So if you want me to fast forward at any point, you go right ahead.
It was its own VHS.
There are some really great things in Thriller. This is a great series, and it ran for 2 years on NBC. And of course, it's a horror anthology, and you're going to see a lot of trademark visuals. But let me get right to it.
Oh, you misspelled that sign.
Took me a moment to catch up to that.
That is so true of the. Okay, this is about to get crazy.
John, we're losing you, John.
Oh boy.
Focus, John. Focus.
This place?
Here, you know what it is? It's the light.
It's the ADHD. It's just
why am I getting Rocky Horror Picture Show vibes here?
Damn it, Janet!
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
I can't understand why my uncle has let it run down like this.
One of television's great dicks, Dick York.
This whole show's been a callback to previous episodes.
Told me every mile of the way. She didn't suggest what we should do for money or a place to stay while we were waiting.
That's called continuity, Stevie.
Sam!
When was the last time he danced you on his knee? 20 years ago?
Cut the chatter. Let's go inside.
Tell her, Darren.
Right. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it's the lighting. That's it.
I thought my eyes were going for a second. just one small part of them.
Now, this is an hour-long show, but there are a lot of scenes of people walking and walking and walking. So feel free to talk.
Well, we will talk, and if you feel the need to zip through a few parts, just make them walk really fast.
I do know where the speed up button is.
Housekeeping.
Let's go back to the village.
I've got exactly $12 in
Well, this could be one of those
Why are we
hour-long episodes that
whispering?
could fit in half an hour.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, this is like a 22-minute script, but it's 50 minutes long. So I do love this hard-edged acting of Dick York, though. I mean, remember, this is Dick York back when he had all the hope in the world. The world was at his feet.
Canted angles.
Meanwhile, in Egghead's lair,
Hello?
Hello.
Anybody here?
They're in an MC Escher painting.
here's the good thing about doing a show like
Let's go.
Don't be in such a rush.
if you do don't be in such a rush. Healthy relationship.
He's telling her what's what. Say, hey.
Oh, set's not finished. Whoop, fell off the side.
I think this kind of show is great because you actually don't have to do anything to the sets. You just have these rotting sets around the studio. Just like, yeah, we're just going to shoot on all the rotting sets.
I just love the theatricality of all these old shows. I love it. The way that you could tell it's a set, but the lighting's so moody.
Yeah.
The performances are very theatrical to the back of the house. Except for Karloff and the one thing that he should have been doing it for.
Well, we're not fooling anybody. I mean, we're all cutting up because we're just trying to cover up how much we're scared.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm soaked.
Dina
I'm moving
says,
so much in my seat.
young Dick York gives me Jim Carrey vibes. Yeah, I see that.
Young Jim Carrey or old Jim Carrey? Two very different Carreys.
There's nobody in there.
Oh, wait.
Oh, maybe, oh boy. Took a trip.
Hey, he's sporting the suspenders beneath that jacket.
Or maybe he's just
Oh,
not
maybe.
using this part of the house.
Brace
But all
yourself.
Costuming really
Anyway, I'm
spent
going to
all the
make
time
sure.
on the part in his hair.
There's always candles handy, aren't there?
Some really bright candles.
And not just candles, but candles in the
Candelabra?
Thank you.
It's some great lighting, though.
I love it. Shows don't get shot like this anymore.
Yeah, that's
Everything's
true.
overlit.
A rare moving camera shot.
Did we just switch to videotape? Oh my goodness.
They had to borrow this footage from the BBC.
Oh.
It's actually from an old
Boris.
episode of Doctor Who.
His name is Lumiere. Be our guest. Oh, Dick York, don't grab me there.
You want this back?
Well, I guess you don't recognize me, sir. It's
I
Fred.
do recognize you. You're Dick Sargent, aren't you?
Fred Bancroft?
Close
Your
enough.
nephew. And this is my wife, Molly. Molly, this is my uncle.
Hello.
Uncle, this is my wife.
I hope you don't think we're snooping.
We just broke into your
We did
house
not.
without asking. And
Fred was certain you were here.
Okay, I'm reminded of the Eddie Murphy routine.
Yes.
About the white people that don't get out of a haunted house.
Get out. Yeah, too bad we can't stay, baby.
Good to see you again, sir. How have you been?
Come this way.
Don't touch me.
Again, they could have had walk this way.
Can't you see I'm suffering from the heartbreak of psoriasis?
Oh, that lighting really changed.
It was empty.
Don't be silly.
Just play the light off Dick York's chiseled features.
Yes.
I said no smoking.
There's something vaguely familiar about that Dr. Marcus.
Wink.
He's sinister sort of chap, don't you agree? I have it. He's the kind of
All guy has a
otherworld
cross growing out of his head.
forever popping up in nightmares. My nightmares, at any rate. But as for the doctor's young and apparently uninvited house guests,
Oh, for a moment I thought we scared Stevie away.
something tells me they'll soon regret
I'm just trying to pull that out of him.
tomb-like serenity of this decaying
Pull
old
the
house.
tab.
Just
I dare you to guess what
Mr. Karloff, just to your left.
is played by Dick York. And Molly, his charming but frightened young wife,
We just learned all this, Mr. Karloff.
Carolyn Carney.
Carolyn Carney.
Professor Angus Holden,
And the rest.
played by Henry Hunter.
Henry Hunter, Carolyn Carney, and Dick Dork.
There are no
If you
lenses
think
in those
the
glasses.
answers
Those are
entirely
fake.
dependent upon the whims of the inhospitable Dr.
Look at the
Conrad
guy
Wilson,
liner on him.
You're right, my friend.
He really has that stare
Please
down.
just sit quietly. Don't make a sound. I shudder to think of what would happen if you knew that you were watching.
Brought to you by Eddie Van Halen's guitar. Dr. Marcus.
Doctor.
With the K.
Doctor.
I believe this is from 1963, which
Doctor.
makes two things on your screen now that are from 1963, including me.
That ought to do it.
Doctor Who.
I hope we're not intruding.
Oh, you are.
Would you like me to do some dusting for you?
You know, we drove all the way from New York in that open car of ours, and we didn't once see the sunshine.
Has Unks even spoken yet?
No. Yes, I don't think.
I
He just forgot his lines.
Well, she's maybe worked in the admin staff.
Yeah.
Like, it's working. Just keep going. Just keep going.
I don't have to follow your stupid script. I can just do it.
Explanations are in order.
I know the words. I just won't say them.
Well, anyway, to make a long story
Yeah,
short,
Uncle's like strung out on something.
our post-grad work at Penrose. We thought that maybe you would.
The actor had a stroke just before filming.
Truth, sir.
They couldn't
Maybe
afford
during
it.
filming.
Need a place to stay until we find jobs.
Look here, getting a lot of screen time. He was non-union.
Use your influence at the university to maybe get us a part-time job.
Boris, we need to have you come back for some reaction shot footage.
You get a little dandruff for the.
And my personality. Yes.
Well, I'm sure it only takes a few days.
That's a Karloff smile, everybody.
If you could only put us up, I'd be glad to pitch in and.
He learned it from the Curly Howard School of Acting.
Whoa.
Stop begging him, Fred. Let's get out of here.
And stay where?
I don't care. Anyway.
Molly? Spot on.
Molly and her sass mouth.
Is that Candle again?
I do love Molly's cheeks.
Well, speaking of cheeks, did they
You're
put some
covered by
makeup on
that
Boris
coat.
here for this part?
Take what you need.
Looks a little
What
more
was it?
jowly than usual.
Yeah.
I mean, even compared to when he introduced the episode.
I think this is Jowlo vision.
What Molly means is that we couldn't take your money.
That's why they had to get chiseled Dick York in there.
Yeah.
You ask is impossible.
You know, we're going to make The Godfather. We got to make Marlon Brando look a certain way. Let's look at this episode and see how to do it.
I'm pretty sure they're just putting the hot lights on his forehead and sliding the rest of the scene.
That'd be good
You
trickery.
are really going to enroll at Penrose?
So hit the dimmer on those candles.
Now, are we supposed to believe these are college students?
I think so, or grad students.
It's all the leaded gasoline. And the heavy smoking.
We had better make some arrangement.
Look, we're not trying to force you into having us if it's going to be inconvenient.
We don't go talking about people behind their backs.
I'm glad to
That's
hear
right. We
you
do it to the faces.
I will hold you to your word. No
That
one
sounds
must
foreboding.
know that I have returned. The work on which I'm engaged is highly secret. You understand?
Yes, sir.
We can keep a secret.
News,
Got some good dish now. Come on.
promise I may have made, remain confidential until
I'm eventually going to marry a witch. I know how to keep a secret.
Yes.
Of course, Uncle Connor.
Very well, then you may stay in the master suite off the hall on the second floor.
Oh, Master Steve yet.
But you stay out of my readings.
In the kitchen, that is all.
Those magazines are mine.
Now they're going to lay down in that bed with the canopy over, and it's going to have that swinging blade come down.
Do not seek me out.
Don't ruin it for everybody, Joe.
Any reason whatsoever.
Whatever you say, sir.
I'm going to direct most of my lines to Carolyn Carney.
You prefer Dick Sargent.
One more condition, and this is vital. I do not care to have you venture forth at night.
I walk around with no clothes on.
From dusk until dawn.
I may look old and decrepit, Molly, but hey, hey.
For the night. You understand?
I'm young and frisky at heart.
I'm a naturalist.
My nephew has the looks. I have the experience.
I love how she's wearing her haunted house high heels.
Oh, say it for me, Steve.
Candelabra.
Candelabra.
You know, they paid for it. They're going to use it.
Damn it.
That's an expensive prop.
Oh, there's nothing here but this gluten-free bread.
It really is that bad. From catering.
Hi, how you doing? You got pretty cheeks.
Well, there's something to eat.
It's me.
We hit you up to stay in your house. All you have for me is light beer.
It's me, Darren. I mean, damn it.
Did you wiggle your nose?
There's a ratatouille in there.
They found a rat.
This movie was brought to you by the Candelabra Company. Candelabra. Plural, it's candelabra.
I'm not hungry tonight anyway.
Man, those are really good candles because they just don't shrink at all. They just last and last.
No, from one scene to the next, they get longer sometimes.
Go and look for yourself.
They're Energizer candles.
What is I'm supposed to see, Molly?
Oh, golly gee.
How does he exist?
He eats chalk. Lots and lots of chalk.
Look, this kitchen, it hasn't been used for years.
Well, I mean, he is a bachelor in his later years, so.
Suddenly she's Southern?
He did say he'd been away.
And years?
Years.
Let's take a look at our rooms.
I'm going to take this candelabra.
Haven't been into the room yet? Oh, it's matching rooms. Sweet.
You can stay in the master suite.
With Frankenstein and the Wolfman.
And the mummy.
Now close the door. I don't want you to be in the hallway when I'm doing the mash. The monster mash. With my group, the Crypt Kicker 5.
We're all naked.
Slower. It's an hour-long show, guys. Don't rush us through this.
We're going to have to do this all over again. You know what? Screw it. We'll keep that take. We don't have enough money.
Hey, Tony's with us. Hey, Tony.
Tony.
Don't break weather.
Hello, Tone.
I would bet
when
they really knew how to fill an hour
around this place. You know?
Okay, I would have sworn they were already in that room.
See, it's what they call a redress.
And this is where the magic happens.
The editing room?
For only 6 payments of $39.95, you too can have the one and only candelabra.
Hey, there's a bathtub in here big enough to go water skiing.
Wah, wah.
We'll have to turn the water on, though.
Or to hold a body. Or two.
Not too bad, huh?
Red Skelton apparently left some of his jokes kicking around.
It's dusty and it's damp.
Yes, but what do you think about the room?
Later on, they're going to find in that bathtub Clement Littlehopper and the hillbilly guy. Oh, great. Now we're locked in.
Lock it, sprung killers.
Fred, your uncle has moved us
I want
in.
to push that. Call the elevator right there. Push that button.
We can always bail out that window.
Pull, Darren, pull. It's not push. The door is not push.
Sadly, these are the only bars nearby.
Oh, look, there's Uncle out there in the graveyard by the house.
Where did I leave my keys? No.
Eddie Van Halen's guitar. I already said the
Now a
joke.
word from Crispy Face.
No, that was quick.
Well, they survived the night. That's always encouraging.
That's not a very complimentary good morning for a considerate.
I got you this brown water.
That's because you punched her in the gut.
Here, I'm putting a hot liquid right in your face. Don't scream.
Hey, where'd they get the coffee or the tea?
Find it.
In the kitchen.
Straight from the tap.
Pan that hadn't been opened.
Yeah, it was.
That's the first time I ever cooked on a wood
It
stove.
came out brown, huh?
The hot door was jammed.
Darren's getting a little pudgy there.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm telling you, it's cold in that room.
I just want to give him a jiggle.
His suit must be very slimming.
Dick York apparently is the Roby of this series. Okay. That's a Friday the 13th, the series reference. It only makes sense here on Retro Rangers.
But what great
Retro
sense it does. And now you got me thinking of Roby again, John. Come on.
Why am I never thinking of Roby?
This is true.
I actually looked into her discography.
Yeah.
Spotify only had YouTube Music only had like 3 tracks. I don't even think a full album.
That's 3 more than I thought they would have.
How the devil do I know? Here, drink your coffee.
Coffee.
Find a shave.
I don't get her music. And I'll listen to Tiffany.
Fred?
Oh, Fred.
Fred.
Ah.
Yeah, I guess he was so woolly and rough and ready before.
None of the doors have bolts, just the master suite, and it's not a new fixture.
Oh?
Fred,
Oh.
Fred.
there's something you're not telling me.
I don't need to shave.
All right, if you must know.
I've got a thing for Elizabeth
My
Montgomery.
Aunt Florinda was, shall we say, mentally disturbed for years before she died.
Ooh.
My uncle refused to have her committed. She lived out her life in these rooms. At least that's how the family gossip goes.
Why didn't you tell me last night?
Because you would have panicked and spoiled everything.
You're darn right I would
Would have spoiled our miserable night in the
Your Aunt
haunted
Miranda
house.
doesn't excuse our being locked up in here like a pair of sheep.
Honey, if it makes the old
They're
man happy to
sheep.
know that we're not roaming around the house poking.
Who's
holes in
locking
his
away sheep in their house?
And only 2.
Some night.
Like the world's worst worry ward.
Anything could happen in this place.
All right, I will take care of it.
Well, I guess in the house, they could get wild and woolly, those sheep.
Time I'll get
Oh, he
started
didn't
on the
play
yard.
one.
He's not playing.
It's family bankroll. $12.
Where do you think Manson got the idea?
Want to be just like Dick York, man.
Before this runs out, Fred.
Fred.
Fred. How did the name Fred get more than one
That
syllable?
kiss was not scripted, and you could tell.
Groceries at last.
Honey, you could tell I got the groceries because there's a loaf of bread sticking out.
$12.
Did you speak
Got
to
you
your
that.
uncle about locking us in last night?
No.
One of my favorite bands from the 80s was Dick York's Dead Eyes.
Said he'd gone.
Oh.
For how long?
No, it didn't say.
Well, I hope we'll be gone before he comes back. I stopped at the student's employment office and filled out some job applications for us.
Good. What's the prognosis?
Okay, this feels too real now.
You fill out his job application form?
Well, at least we got a roof over our heads.
It was easier back in the day.
And something to sustain the corporeal man. Now hurry up. I'm sorry.
Loaf of bread.
The jug of
Hurry up.
wine now.
Hurry up, he says. He can do all kinds of things, but he can't cook.
Well, he's a man, isn't he?
Didn't realize I was getting so flabby.
Oh, I noticed.
The muscle in my carcass is not howling bloody murder.
See, Stevie?
Honey, where are my
He knows.
T-shirts?
Oh, he better.
Molly!
Molly! Molly! You didn't iron my shirt.
Are you water skiing in the tub again? What?
Oh, the door is open.
Psycho music going on here.
You know, when you have to fill an hour.
There's some of that walking John was talking about.
That's some of
Where
that.
are those horns coming
Star
from?
Trek sniping music.
I went from Psycho to Star Trek in a few bars.
For something to read. I have to do something to get my mind off this.
Well, she found the candelabra's baby brother.
Well, if you'd rather curl up to a musty
The
old
egg
science
finally
book,
hatched.
I'll help you sell it. The library's full of them.
Come on, it's already dark. We're supposed to be in our room.
Have to break my arm?
Yeah.
Break your neck of all the stupid things to do.
What did I
Break
do?
your neck.
That's what is killing me.
Well, I don't know what he's so worried about. I got an Einstein killing.
Wait a minute, so he
This is better
threatening
than
to break her
television.
neck newspaper?
Yeah, she was getting newspapers because there's nothing to read and she's bored. It actually makes more sense than anything else in this whole damn show. Now let's get in here and be locked away.
We only paid for the 2 cents.
Suddenly coming up those stairs, I got duck bumps.
Duck
bombs.
I'll put some more wood on the fire.
That joke did not go over well. Molly.
Molly. Fred. Molly. Fred. Okay, I get it.
Are they going to live in this house hoping to avoid his uncle the whole time?
I mean, I can't say I'm not familiar with that. Look, Joe, it happens. Sometimes you get into a bad place and
we're locked in again.
Locked?
Oh, God.
God damn it, where are those horns coming from? I can't read my
everybody to
paper.
spend one day out of the year reading old newspapers.
This is from last
See
week.
what we were in such a sweat about a few years ago. It makes you laugh. Child's play compared to today's problem. Honey?
Molly.
Molly, are you stuffing food in your cheeks again?
What's more of that bread?
Molly, wake up. I'm talking to you.
Fine thing. Here I am spouting profundities. You're flirting with the Sandman.
He had to do that line multiple times, didn't he?
Spouting profundities. I don't know. Spouting profundities. That's better. That's better.
Yes. Flirting with the Sandman.
Flirting with the Sandman.
Now there's a cello. Where is this music coming from?
I killed an orchestra, and now they haunt the house.
It's coming from behind this bookcase.
Is he like what a letter opener there to defend himself? Oh, he's going to pick the lock.
Uncle locks him in at night.
I mean,
Molly got
I
an
think I go look
Eiffel.
for my car.
Molly got an Eiffel, so he had to lock it from the outside.
And now for some creeping.
Creep, creep, creep.
That's some fine creeping. Dick York really knew how to creep.
For someone who really desperately needed a candelabra to navigate this place, he's just winging it now.
Yeah. Oh, got the whole conference going on here.
I used to have to do a conference call before.
No, Latimer. That was not quite your testimony. Try again.
When I realized that they were serious, I summoned Professor Marquesan. It was then he told me his theory about...
Wait.
Now that's an acting style.
Qualified the word theory, did you
not?
There's a lot of reverb in that small room.
Go on. Go on.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh, syphilis.
What has been done can't be undone.
If you keep picking on them, they'll never heal.
I have finished with you, my friend. You will have all eternity in which to rest. In the meantime, we will review your testimony.
How bad was the footage that they had to keep cutting back to Dick York?
You must be letter perfect when Aris.
We're going to need a lot of Dick York B-roll.
Angus Holden comes to
He's
me.
holding that. He's holding that pose pretty good.
Out somehow.
Continue, Latimer.
Nine.
Continue.
9.
Look at Mike's. Oh, what's up? The webs.
put this back.
Wait a minute. How would that work? How would you get
locking the lock with the pick?
Have you never picked a lock?
Not like that.
Oh. I think they are dead downstairs.
Wait a minute. He shouldn't be alive.
This is the thriller.
I'm trying to remember a time that was so innocent that people couldn't just tell what was going on right now at this point. Just be like, please, just finish.
Red, what's wrong?
Destiny. Destiny.
So he saw that, came back upstairs, locked the door, went to bed.
Yeah.
So Molly, get your ass out of there. We're leaving right now.
I had a dream I was in a classic film and not this show.
Guess. Molly, he had guests last night.
How do you know that?
And you were there? And you were there?
How did you get downstairs?
Use the
You were
stairs.
yesterday. Rigged up a wire so I could pull that bolt from the inside.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because you were so darn sure I wouldn't do anything about us being locked in here.
Because you're a woman and you don't understand locks, honey.
And you're
I'm sorry I sandpapered your precious ego.
Is that what she calls it?
Tell me what happened.
I just love how there's like this incredibly like bombastic writing tucked into this stupid little horror story.
Please. Come on, tell me.
Expound some profundities.
Molly, I saw it.
Thank you.
My uncle and 3 men.
Yeah, these gnarly zits.
Wow. It was a real lemon party.
I didn't see their faces too clearly, but they were
There was something about a train.
horrible.
Darling, are you sure you weren't having a nightmare, really?
Molly, I know what I saw.
You've been
These
drinking
little
again.
bits of latex on their faces.
I can't understand is how they got here. I didn't hear any cars.
You saw something horrible in this house? I can't believe that.
Unless they came by way of the footpath behind the arboretum.
That's his bedhead, by the way. That's pretty good bedhead.
It's starting to make him look a little bit more nuts, which is
And
fine.
in the back of the swamp is a graveyard.
Truman will reject new Pentagon parsley.
Oh, wait. Slicked his hair back now.
I hate crossword puzzles.
No, see, honey, with the jumble, you don't have to answer it right away. You get the little clues first.
Yeah?
I don't like the way you're acting. You're keeping
Neither do I.
That would be a problem his entire career, Molly.
You're just silly enough to try to want to protect me.
There's a reason why he got replaced.
My big worry is protecting me from you.
I should have married Jake Sargent instead.
Then why don't you tell me the rest?
Honey, because there's nothing else to tell.
Tell.
There was
What
nothing
the hell is this delivery?
Maybe you're right. Maybe it just was a bad dream. In fact,
Oh,
the more I
sure.
think about it, the more I'm convinced that it was just a sick nightmare.
If only this
Because
whole
if it
show
wasn't, I'm
was.
losing my mind.
Now I'm going to go put on a different t-shirt.
Yes.
Funny, I don't remember lighting that fire.
I can't understand what's happened to this place.
It's feeding in from Boris' fireplace on the other.
Jiggle him again. Just...
Fred. I didn't want to tell you
You
yesterday.
can tell it's
'cause
cold
I
in there,
didn't
though.
want to get your hopes up. But they told me at the Students' Employment Office that there might be a file clerk's job open next week.
File clerk?
Ooh.
Office.
You can tell Dick York was held back in school. That's why he's
Yes.
an older college
He's
student.
the science faculty. Do you know him?
Oh, no.
He was 25, went to high school, I think.
Name somewhere.
So, of course, the plot here is that The uncle used to be with Penrose College. Penrose College said his science was crazy. They ruined his career and sent him into, living alone in a haunted house.
Okay, look, we're like an hour and 45 minutes into this show. Don't go telling me now that there's a plot. I don't believe you. I've been watching this the whole time. I'm fairly certain Dick York was just winging it the whole time.
Look, you guys do whatever. I'll just improv.
That explains the random words.
Oh, God.
Oh, forgot something.
Giant knitting needle, do your thing.
I still say that just being locked in the room would have been enough for me to leave. My first chance.
I mean, getting locked in a room with Dick York would want anyone to leave.
I think it's funny that they really point out that they have an open car. That's why they're not living in the car. I mean, I'm going with it.
Might still be worth it.
Because I'm afraid that Boris Karloff's going to come into their room at night and with a block of wood and a sledgehammer and
I mean, at least it would be a merciful end. Uncle.
Okay, I'm out.
50 Shades of Karloff.
Shouldn't have looked back. Shouldn't have looked. Now I'm gonna look.
Oh, let's go down to the cellar. That way we'll get cornered. We can't get out. That's perfect plan.
Couldn't be anything wrong with going to the cellar.
Walk this way. Walk this way. Creep, creep, creep.
It's a lot of groaning. Tony's discipline dungeon. Yep.
John, you promised earlier that we could fast forward through some walking scenes. I don't think we need to because that's all the suspense is. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, so if there are three corpses, who is doing the moaning?
Well, they're
animated.
Slightly animated.
Wait, are we talking about the corpses or Dick York?
Close my window.
They're alive.
I can taste the colors.
Good evening, Professor Ratterman. I trust you're feeling rested and a little more alert than last night.
I'm going to connect you ass to mouth, each of you. The human centipede, phase 1.
Don't attach me to Dick York.
You two cover for a minute. I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, I have to leave this show. I can't work with this man.
I think John got scared. He had to collect his wits about him for a moment. Either that or take a pee.
Oh, God, where have you gone? Where have you been?
He's just watching us watch Dick York at this point.
I gotta get that Professor Holden and bring him back here.
Oh,
he's
tell
back.
me now. What's happened? What did you see downstairs?
I saw those same three men.
Party, lemons.
Was there any
Everywhere.
reason to go rushing after a
I'm
man
not
you
even going to
don't
take my
even know?
pajama bottoms off. I'm putting my slash on over them.
Something unholy.
A man take off his pants in front of his wife in the bedroom?
Professor Holden will know. He knows my uncle. He knows his work.
Not on
Not
NBC, you can't.
I want you to lock that door from the inside. Don't let anyone
And
in
they
until I
stick
get
to
back,
that
you
role to this
understand?
very day.
How long have you gone?
So
Hopefully
midnight,
forever.
I'll be back by
We're not leaving. He's going to go
You stay in
confront
this
them.
room.
So he's going to go talk to this college professor at like 3 a.m.
It's a night school.
Well, he's up. Meanwhile, at the home of Professor Angus.
Wow, it's the middle of the night and he's wearing a suit. Professional.
I'm not exactly rational after what I just saw. And I suggest we
Is that Larry
No,
Fine
I've
in the
got to know
background?
now, and you can help me. You were my uncle's superior. You sat in judgment on him.
Everyone's
There was
your
some sort
Uncle
of
Superior.
Informal trial, wasn't there? Professors Charing, Grant, and Latimer testified against my uncle.
Howard Fine and
I don't know
Howard.
where you got your information, but it was decided that Professor Markison would resign. For
The
reasons
glasses are real. His mustache is fake.
That's all I can tell you.
Professor, please. I've got to know, and you can help me. I've seen and heard things that make me doubt my sanity. Please.
Recordings of his own acting.
Well, Professor Markison claimed that he had devised certain chemical techniques with which he could raise the dead.
It's a cold.
The key to his discovery,
To be fair, it's the only way to watch this.
was a fluid which he extracted from the mold found in graves.
What?
To prove his theory, he invited 3 of his colleagues to his laboratory for a secret demonstration.
Hold the card up higher. He's having a hard time reading it.
Professors Latimer, Charing, and Grant.
Can you print those cue cards bigger,
You know what's
please?
become of them?
Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
Latimer, Cherry, and Grant. Da-da-da-da.
You mean you think Conrad Markison's dead? Or didn't you
Are we going to find Molly on one of those slabs
Alive,
down
I
in the
saw him
cellar?
less than an hour ago.
One can only hope.
Impossible. Conrad Markison is buried in the family crypt. I attended his funeral. You can confirm what I'm saying very simply. Go to the crypt and see for yourself.
Sure.
Now get the hell out of my house.
Back on just to greet you.
Nice day of work right there.
I have to be up in 2 hours for work. Class at 7 a.m.
Stupid 7 a.m. classes. That's why I have to sleep in my suit.
Sure, it's smoky outside.
Well, the violinist.
He told you to stay in the room. He told you to stay in the room, Molly.
The Chesterfield sponsors are outside again.
Oh, silly female. She what them do? She's told.
Wait, I thought the door was locked.
I thought so too. Well, he told her to lock it from the inside.
But she
Was
didn't
it locked
lock
from the
it.
inside without a pick?
There's a pulley system.
Oh, she's gonna come face to face with one of those ghouls.
Yeah, she is. Girl meets ghoul. She did bring a nice selection of 90s.
Well, she is
Great,
a young
that's
college
good. That's really
student.
good. Dummies downstairs. We'll go for that.
She looks like a young Tia Leone.
Now, Molly, you know, psoriasis can be spread upon contact. Be careful.
She's wearing a diaphanous gown. Actually, she's wearing 20 diaphanous gowns.
There's John. What's the candelabra? There's 2 of them there. Oh, great! You're
Matt
Boris
Locks
Johnson
on.
from Plan
Matt
9.
Locks on.
Oh,
Must watch Fox. Must watch Fox News. Hashtag Molly 2.
why do you want to go in that door?
Take it as a compliment.
Why do you run right into them?
You
Let's
should
go
smile
on to-
more.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior?
Uh-oh. Well, at first I wasn't sure who it was, and then I saw the ears. Why are those Dick York's ears? Oh, he's going to the mausoleum first. Bold move, not
Dude.
going back to help the wife.
But does he have the...
Oh, she's okay. She stayed in the room. Like,
He won't be able to get in without the red crystal and the unicorn statue.
my God, that's going to be the narrowest audience for a joke ever. Wait, if you push the sun and the moon at the same time.
Oh, good. The
I bet
Pegasus
that
key
crypt
worked.
is empty.
The candelabra's country cousin, the oil lamp. Hey, let's go in the mausoleum.
Didn't they have flashlights in the 50s?
They did. They did, but not anything that Boris Karloff ever did.
Oh.
Coffee for a nickel. Drink more oval. These morons spelled Conrad with a K.
Oil lamp brought to you by the makers of candelabra. All right, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, somebody went in the door. That happened. He got so scared his socks.
The camera's tilted.
He got so frightened his socks turned white.
Molly?
That's just his skin.
Molly.
Why did you stay put?
I believe Dick York's the kind of guy that didn't wear socks.
Well, I guess we can scrape up some socks for you, Dick York, you damn hippie.
Bare feet and a pair of loafers. Psycho. Mother? Mother?
God, if this isn't Bernard Herrmann doing the music, Bernard Herrmann needs to sue this guy.
Done and done. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Molly.
Molly.
Fred.
Chief.
Molly.
McLeod.
Good evening.
Hello, Uncle.
Daddy.
Allow me to introduce my former colleagues, Professor Latimer, Dr. Clark.
Where's Molly?
You will soon be together.
I agree, Tony. Get that slut out of the house.
What a pity you broke your word to me.
Oh, what a pity.
Now you must both remain in this house and
Forever.
join our select but cadaverous little company.
Cadaverous little company?
This is like how the crypt keeper flirts.
Again and again.
Where is she?
Looks like you've reached a dead end.
You should be proud of your Uncle Conrad. He has conquered death. You hear? I have conquered death. I and I alone understand
Joe
the
looked
secret
like
of
I was
life itself.
Tony. Tony's spilling the tea.
Oh, I'll tell you, that's actually very complimentary, Tony. Thank you. I think I look much worse.
If that is so,
At least he didn't say you look like Dick York.
eternity must be madness. For I am eternity, everlasting without end.
Whoa!
Oh, damn! Holy shit! Why would you have one of those things hanging in your basement?
Old Hollywood. That wasn't meant to happen.
Oh,
ooh, he's kind of melting, isn't he?
Rapidly aging. That's what happens when you try to cheat death.
It catches up to you.
Oh, well, I guess Molly's a loss. Whatever. Moving on.
I mean, they didn't try to cheat that. They did cheat it.
Wait a minute, John.
Old men are on fire.
No.
Does she have giant implants?
Oh!
Giant implants.
When's your mustache now?
Oh, I get it. Just close it.
Do you need help? Do you need help closing it? Oh! I did not think we were going to finish this with no Molly. That makes me sad.
To be
All
fair,
the
she
opportunities
came out
he
ahead
had
at
to
the
get
end.
her out of there, and he didn't do it.
She got out ahead in the end. She got away from Dick York.
Dick York is the fate worse than death. Carolyn Kearney. I'm going to have to look her up at some point.
Well, I guess I'll have to give myself a witch now for a wife.
Guess I'll have to just
Full
go
of caskets.
go join the military now.
Oh, man.
That was a pretty effective shot at the end.
It was. I mean, I
Gotta
got to
give him
say,
the
that's
props
not
on
the
that
worst
one.
ending. Morton
I mean,
Stevens.
it went on for 5 minutes, but
Morton Stevens, the hardest working man on this episode.
the hinges on the coffin were a little rusty. Florence Bush. You really did a good job parting that hair.
I think Dick needs just a little more combing. Damn it, Florence. Get him on set.
More pomade. You never have too much pomade.
The good old
Okay, watch this commercial.
Oh, goodness.
You're going to do a scene with Boris Karloff. Your lines will appear right here. Read them loud.
Your lines here.
Now, watch how fast this goes.
Come in. You know why I've asked you here?
No.
No, tell
You
me.
must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
I'll
try.
You're trembling. Are you afraid?
No. Just kidding.
Have some nice hot coffee.
Oh,
it's butternut. Like it?
Butternut.
Delicious.
Butternut has found a way of making coffee richer without being
Has anyone
bitter.
ever heard of butternut coffee?
Butternut has found a way of making coffee richer without being bitter.
I'll try butternut.
Take this.
Oh, I
Maybe
couldn't.
it's
don't
predecessor to
worry.
chocolate
I've
nuts.
lots more.
You know how many people I had to kill to get this much
Butternut
butternut coffee.
Regular and instant. Rich but never bitter.
I bet that at the beginning of the episode.
So when do we get paid for that? I guess you could tell everybody you did a national commercial now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back to the freaking Red Skelton show.
You know, I'm really a fan of yours.
That's very kind of you indeed, Vincent. Thank you.
You know, I saw one of your pictures last night.
Did you really?
Yes.
What a coincidence. I saw you the night before.
Tell me, was that your last picture?
I hope not. The two of us.
We have a duet.
Man is greater than the two of us.
Friendship.
Such a perfect friendship.
Oh.
They're just the two of us, and we'll be always traveling.
Boris Karloff is finally dead inside.
The two of us.
Nice to meet
There's
Dracula.
lots of glory pictures for the two of us. He used to shine as Frankenstein, and I was the fly. They forced us to die every time to pay for the crime. They killed the two of us, and we'll be always traveling hard.
Back in these days.
And late in the evening we come out and play. A couple of monsters on their merry way. We go to the graveyard for a corpse or two. So treat us kind or you may find the next one is you.
No, get him.
Just when you thought you could put up with what was going on, in comes Red Skelton to ruin it.
That's enough.
It is a good bit, though.
See if you can stop him, Mr. Karloff. You take on, Junior. Oh, no, take
I told you not to talk to me.
Nice to know you've still got it.
2 out of 3 ain't
First
bad.
time I've ever seen the corpse set up with a driver. The corpse happens to be driving. What a macabre sense of humor. Really, I really think you're one of us.
Yes, he'd probably be a marvelous monster.
Yeah. The three of us. A cabin scout should hear about the three of us.
He's pretty scary.
Have you ever seen Boris Karloff singing before? Well, I guess I don't think I've ever seen Vincent Price singing before.
It's the first.
I guess we didn't see him in the music video.
Now, what about this? What if instead of Ray Milland and Rosa Greer, we had Karloff and Price doing the two-headed thing?
Would have worked for me.
We're gonna go over the edge? No.
I mean, what's crazy is it's like, well, Vincent can drive the golf cart towards the audience, right? That won't be a problem.
Yeah, no problem.
There'll be another merciful end.
Oh my goodness, my friends. You know what we need right about now? I know exactly what we need right about now. We need another
butternut.
We need a commercial.
Yes, butternut.
This is Imagine Dragons, isn't it? Coming down to the ring, weighing a fair amount.
I need to write a story that has characters named Fred and Molly. I decided.
I'll tell you what, Molly needs her revenge. Consider it, Joe. Consider rewriting that so that Molly comes out at the end.
Well, if I rewrote it, I'd have to apply some logic, and the whole thing would be 5 minutes long. Take it out at the beginning.
You don't have to write all the long walking. It's only a sentence at that point.
Exactly. If you can take the long walking out of it, it's a TikTok video. This is not our only show, of course. Joe and I do another show together, and that is called Disco Nights, where we recap and review the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery. This is, of course, its 5th and final season. So be sure to join us, watch the show, and then we'll do some spoilers. We'll talk about it. We'll try to figure out where it's going. It's still a really interesting season, so you might want to join us for that.
Oh, I got promoted to Commodore.
Is that not the abbreviation for commander? I don't mind him being a Commodore. Honestly, God. Flobo Voice is an admiral. I'm like the good luck Chuck of the Federation. If you serve with me, you get a much better job after you finally leave.
You need to finish the beard on yourself, just like in the drawing. I like it.
Honestly, that the old beard just doesn't work for the play I'm in. We've got 2 more weeks of this play, so
if Dick York can make it work,
could he though? Could he?
Now,
next week we will be joined by Barry the K, and we will be watching game shows that feature celebrities. Not only that, but we really wanted to go back to Battle of the Network Stars. We're going to be showing clips from that. Yes, Stevie. It's going to be exciting. And
man, when that show goes on, it's going to be 5 minutes of magic, and then I don't know. It's up to YouTube at that point, but
well, we're going to skip around as much as we can. I can tell you there will be a lot of very attractive Hollywood stars. And there will be a foot race between Gabe Kaplan and Robert Conrad, and I'm not going to tell you who wins. You're gonna have.
But that will be the only walking, right, John?
Yeah, really. We're leaving walking behind for a while after doing this because good Lord. Stevie, aka Amoral Crackpot, how can people find you on the interwebs?
Google search.
Actually, that does work.
It does. I'm available I'm available wherever I sold out.
Don't do that to me.
Stevie, congratulations. You caused a John spits up out of his nose moment. I love it.
It almost happened right on this camera. It almost happened.
Close.
You can find us on Facebook, as if anyone wants to go on Facebook anymore. But you can find us at Starbase 80. And I also added this one finally, Joe. You can find us at Starbase 80 on Twitter/X. I'm never going to call it just X.
It forwards it to x.com now. I heard that if you type in twitter.com, it actually changes it automatically to X.
My God, what an insecure little punk Elon is. My God, I don't want anyone using just Twitter anymore. Tell the Earth. The Earth.
You know, it's the everything app.
Oh, I know. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait until they make good with their promise to provide us with canceled television shows. You'll be able to watch canceled television shows on X. Gee, I wonder if I was in any of them.
John, if you could see below my chest right now, and Stevie, you'd see I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for that as well.
Sounds good. What a nice long show we did. I promised Stevie we were shooting for 90 minutes. We did an extra hour. I hope you're okay, Stevie.
I'm feeling good.
Good.
Well, great.
Good.
It was so great having you, Stevie, and meeting you finally.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. All mine.
Not all yours, because I'm telling you, it was fantastic to have you on the show. We must do it again.
Please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's make some plans to do it again real soon. And that will do it. Join us again next week. We will be here at 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. And next week's going to be Celebrity Games. That's going to be fun. And you'll be able to find us here for a good long time doing that because we love doing this show. Stevie, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you, Stevie.
Adina, Tony, Chris, Mario, everybody who showed up in the comments, adding to the show. It was just fantastic. Every week we do my favorite show. I love that. Every week becomes, that was my favorite show. Just gets to be more and more fun. And joetownsville.com. Go over and visit our good friend Joe. You know, I got to do a make good here. I didn't do make good. A little bit of a make good.
What's the make good for?
Trial and terror.
Well, you know, I promised you 2 ads for the show, and I'd only done one so far. I think. Did I do one at the beginning?
No, we did this at the beginning.
Did we?
joetownsville.com.
Oh well, pull.
Now I owe you one.
Like 30% of one. Thank you, Adina. You're right. It was a great show. Good night. And yes, and Adina's very much giving permission to let Stevie come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adina.
And be the little wisecracking rascal that you are. Which means it's time to end the show. Thank you, everybody, and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Grab your popcorn, warm up your TV. Captain John, Commander Joe got something to see. We're all back in time to the Golden Past with the Retro Ranger. Oh, it's such a blast. We're flying high with the Retro Ranger. Give it a try and don't be a stranger, Ranger. Strap yourself in for a fun-filled flight. Retro Rangers are flying tonight.